back. We back. We back. Another one. Back to back guest on these niggas. But I gotta let them know where we at.
Let them know. It ain't don't start to it. You let them know.
Is a rapping and a drummer podcast, nigga.
Episode 11.
Episode, bro.
11.
Them double digits on the lame ass nigga.
21.
Exactly. And without further ado, bro, let the people know who we got the pleasure of sitting with right now. Let the people know who we got the pleasure
It's my
of sitting with right now.
pleasure to be sitting here interviewing this individual right here. A man who wears many hats.
Mm-hmm.
He is a fashion designer, creative director, a musical artist, musical genius. Let's put it that way. He's also he does physical art.
Yep.
My man paints, do all type of shit. Just an all around. You feel me?
Visionary, if you will.
Visionary,
if you will.
We got the one and only, my cousin, G baby motherfucking Gvvaan in the building.
That's really him.
It's really him.
Alive in the flesh, live and direct.
Morpheus himself.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people said this interview would never happen. You feel me?
My mama said it had to.
My mama said that had to happen too. So that
Exactly.
we here.
What's up, world? I'm an avid viewer, so it's a pleasure
We
to
appreciate
finally
that.
be here.
We appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
We got a split for you here if you partaking.
Appreciate
For
you.
the smokers, you feel me? So
I usually don't smoke on podcasts, but
come on, bro.
It's the rap of the
yeah, I'm a
joint.
real homeboy.
Come on, man.
You feel
Nigga
me?
really smoking. Do alone.
Exactly.
So shit. This past weekend,
Mm-hmm. We both had the pleasure.
both had the pleasure.
Let's get right into it.
I had
Yeah.
the pleasure of going to opening night,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also we came back Sunday.
Yep.
You feel me? Had
Yep.
to come back for the get back to your first pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Very successful.
Definitely. Big shouts out to that.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep.
The Iguana Limited
Mm-hmm.
launch event, 3-day pop-up was a success. I want to thank everybody that came out. Onset Uncles for hosting us.
Shouts out
Great
to them.
food,
Shout out
great
to
plant-based
Nicole and
food.
Mike. That was
Shout out
Fire.
to Mike
one of the
Nicole.
most beautiful
Mm-hmm.
events that I ever had an opportunity to help
Amazing.
with my team, coordinate and bring to my, fan base and everybody that I have developing with the brand since it's been started, last October.
Wow.
We got started. We had our first, soft launch of products.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just took our time and got right to it at the tail end of the summer. So we had a really good turnout. The restaurant brings out a really great vibe, as far as the people, they're avid patrons and all those kinds
Good
of things.
vegan food.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a plant-based restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
cafe, retail environment in Flatbush.
Black on, right?
Yes, black owned.
Black
and
owned.
So
it's
y'all know we putting all the details.
in the
right
helm
here.
of the
Y'all
Little
know it's right
Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
landmark spot in Flatbush now. That's it's culturally a staple now.
Mm-hmm.
That Church Avenue
Yeah.
there.
area.
It's getting
So,
crazy over there.
I was really happy to just be involved in a a community that is finding a way to turn the narrative around and take control of what they got going on, while so many different things are shifting in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a eye opener for me, for real. I had as I told some of y'all in private, I had shopped the idea for the concept for the pop up around a lot to different spots in Lower Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and just it came full circle. I was able to enmesh with people that I had a rich history with. Mike was responsible for helping give us one of our earlier major stages
Big
at
facts.
SOBs
wow.
in 2015 actually.
Fire.
So I saw them put together the restaurant during the pandemic. They put together their portion of everything, and then I saw them crowdfunding and different things, and the restaurant just came together by way
That's
of the community.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
it was amazing just to be able to take a chapter out in their history and launch with them, as well as things are going on with me and the brand. So I was really really grateful for the entire experience.
Right, it was a good turnout too. Yeah, like even the opening day when I went, like it was a good, good turnout, and even people who was just walking by, like just in the community, was seeing what it was just like
real
was
welcoming,
real welcoming, it
really
wasn't
welcoming.
Like, get out of here. It was like they was really like inquiring.
On our way there, you had on the shirt.
I had the
remember?
shirt on. Somebody stopped me and was like, "Yo, that shirt fire!" And I told them, like, "Oh, it's a pop around the corner." Like, "Oh, we just walked past." Like, damn, I should have went in.
Yep.
So that's fire when you just getting that organic, just magnetic feel to the community. That's how. So shit, maybe that's what it was meant to be at. Like, I feel like.
Absolutely,
shit,
that's confirmation. Essentially, it's business, but I take that the gesture of them like extending their reach that they have and allowing me to be able to participate and what it is that they're doing for themselves. So I just feel like $1 million around people like that they get the vision, and then they're willing to see what unpredictable things could take place with their presence being felt and able to just like wrap their brains around and understand what kind of people and what kind of energy we bring around us. So yeah.
So what was my question? Because we just coming off the cusp of the pop up, so it's really dope for me to really see that happen for you, because nigga, I know you my whole life. So but this part of you, like the designer, like the brand, like owner, I got to see, just as a customer, that aspect. I got to see you in that element. So like, because most people who probably like are fans of Gvvaan Unlimited probably they might catch on just from the brand, like, because it's a fire, like it's fire shit. And then once they dig in, they'll see like, oh, the brand owner is also an artist.
Exactly.
So what is as far as the creation process, when you create whatever, whether it be music or a visual, next to when you're creating actual pieces for the brand, like, is it like a total step away out of yourself, or does it kind of just flow with your regular process?
Well, shameless plug. This is the Dulap denim jacket. It's our statement piece. One of the first items to come off the product line.
Also, it was one of our first black-owned
Episode
business highlights that we
Episode
have. You
2,
feel
we
me?
did
So go
shout that
back.
out,
You feel me? Throw the rewind on that mic real quick. And then,
Iguana by Gvvaan. This is the Dulap jacket. Feel me? You feel me? Season 1. This the first one. This. I'm digging it. I like the back of that.
I'm digging it. Creative. I mean, if you know Gvvaan, this jacket makes a lot of sense.
Bias.
You feel me?
I'm a little biased for
Just
this
a little
guy
bit.
here. This is my guy. I'm a little biased. I'm not gonna lie, audience.
and then show how we been. Like, well, but go ahead.
Yeah.
But as you can see, like, it has the back mesh. The back panel of the denim jacket is a mesh panel, and it has like the the traditional marina colors that you get, in a lot of Caribbean scenarios or countries. People wear this, for ventilation and all those different kinds of things. But it was a personal item or personal piece back in 2013. I designed this piece, and then got into music, and eventually after the pandemic or during it rather, I had a good amount of time to just comb through the glossary of how I wanted to depict myself image wise, and started pulling different archived items that I had in my wardrobe to the forefront, and then the main mission was to be able to dress myself in my music videos without having to go outsource from other brands so much. And it's not that I love clothes, so it's never oh, I don't want to wear them and promote what they got going on. I think that's kind of a blanketed statement when it comes to just enjoyment, and
you like something, you like
what you like,
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
the case in point really was just after a video shoot, having to go back into the city after you shopped and dropped this stuff off, and you are exhausted. It was more of a physical feat that I was trying to get around the obstacle of. So I linked up with my homies, the Griggs brothers. They're twins, set of twins. They do great embroidery work.
Shout out to Chris and Clay.
The homie Joshua Joseph, who runs Rebels to Dawns. Chris and Clay, they have a brand called New Way of Life, and both of those sets of people ended up helping me develop my first samples for what it was that I was trying to create for the wardrobe for my music videos.
That's fire.
And then that was in turn became like a conceptualized like brand surrounding like color palettes that I was like super fucking with. And then you just like other numerous things that I kind of like started like playing with the idea of that one thing being the iguana, because my name is Gvvaan, Gvvaan, but the V's make a W. People have a really hard time getting that off the bat.
His name's not Gavin, people.
Yeah, so
Gvvaan.
it's not Gvvaan, it's not Javon, it's Gvvaan. But yeah, that case is attributed to my father, or so it is a tribute to my father. His name is George Valentine White. So just like and he was like a Jamaican immigrant. That's how he lived and passed. So it's just like kind of like paying homage to how I came to existence. So the jacket has like a lot of different like details, just as far as like things that I was pointing on when I was like developing my creative self or sense of self in my early 20s. So back in 2013, I had dreads. I had like the whole like new Rasta aesthetic thing going on, and I took heed to the Caribbean culture that's present in London, having been an underbelly to the punk movement, and I'm kind of like the first renegade or go against the law or the system kind of organization of people that came together. They did the sub-based parties and underground events and stuff like that. They're kind of like a pulse to what was going on. So in punk, they have like the denim jackets, and the back panel they'll put their band, like they might stretch a t-shirt or something. So the back mesh panel was like my kind of like Rasta punk aesthetic kind of coming to the forefront at that point in time. I used to wear like a lot of hard bottom Doc Martens and shit, like really like tight fitted pants, slacks, things of that nature. So to answer your question, like a lot of the clothes are developed based off of either my past sense of style, ways that I wanted to dress growing up, or ways that I did dress growing up. And I just kind of like put it in extended play and give it some kind of contemporary like fixes when it comes to like how I currently like silhouettes to like read and all of those kinds of things. So like designing for me is like putting on clothes and changing those insignias and switching them out for whatever those identities or that I've started to I guess like emerge with, like when it comes to like wrapping my like ideas wrapping my concepts into like branding and all those kinds of things. But yeah, that's like how everything for the most part with this jacket in particular came together, and then some of the products that you'll see like coming out.
That's what I was actually going to ask next. What was the lineup aside from the jacket? 'Cause I know you had a few pieces.
Yeah. So I'm really interested, or I'm really like pro embroidery. I'm really like pro your clothing lasting, or at least if it wears away, it does it in a cool way.
Yep.
So I like to just kind of like take, I guess, classic approaches that or cues that you get in streetwear, like a screen printed T-shirt or a good pair of sweatpants or different things of that nature. That's what the brand essentially is. It's just my take on interjecting or intersecting culture and heritage into streetwear. So a lot of the other pieces just like like really well like heavyweight cotton, embroidered T-shirts, playing with different materials, with where the branding insignias get placed, like felt and like even with the like, I guess like with the placement, just playing with different like things that we grew up seeing or that we appreciated that maybe are things are coming back trend wise, or you may have forgotten that this was something a way or style of dress that people used to have going on. But yeah, just like kind of
even the one you had on Sunday, that purple one with the green.
Yeah, the box logo joint. Yeah.
Fire.
So those are samples that I've been just kind of like giving a go for.
So that hasn't come out yet.
Nah,
Okay.
that'll be coming out. Those T-shirts are winterized. I was like,
Fire.
I was being a little dangerous in the last bit of heat we had, but
Yeah.
like those tees. I had made some vests, some sports vests.
Okay.
Different things of that nature, like just really like kind of like athleisure, but still giving it like a kind of a luxe feel, but just consumer fashion, that a consumer ready fashion that's able to be accessed at decent price points. Definitely. And dressing in a way that maybe isn't fully like carved out. Like I feel like with designing and all those different kinds of things, like my approach or the people that I work with, we have a really unique way of storytelling while we're like creating. So yeah, that's like the gist of like where we at with developing the brand and with the process that goes into how I come up or wrap my brain around like getting concepts out.
So I think that's a perfect, how you ending that is like a perfect way to segue into you being a creative director. I think it starts right there with you, like you said, creative director for yourself. Basically, all in all, like, so you kind of take the same blueprint or formula and try as best you can to match it up to whatever brand you're dealing with or whatever. So I think this is also a perfect way like to kind of fully break down our relationship.
Correct. So the creative direction, in my opinion, or for myself, it's all about self-sufficiency, and it's all about whether you have the resources or not. That it's the best investment that you can make on yourself as an entertainer or somebody that's dealing with your public image, being distributed, or if the likeness of your image being put to use or anything of that nature, that you have something to fall back on, so that you're not asked out when somebody else isn't putting their ideas in you or on you, or having a way to fund the way that you get to essentially express yourself. So creative direction was like one of the first paths that I chose after getting out of high school. I grew up in Harlem, moved when I was 13, went to Decatur, Georgia, where we were both like were down there at the same time, and Brew was doing music, and at the time, like I went to the Boys Choir of Harlem when I was young. That's how I learned how to formally sing and all of those kinds of things. But when I got down to Georgia, I got culture shock because it was a slower pace. The value system is different, and then there's like a learning curve that comes with that, because you're not necessarily able to just like defy the odds as soon as you get down there, because you have to understand what you're around and who you're dealing with.
Exactly.
So I spent a lot of time just like in those years just kind of like imaginatively, in a certain sense, like going the distance with the music that I was listening to, going through like album booklets and packaging and all those different kinds of things. And that was like the meat and potatoes for me of like having a full like fan based experience, like how far it could go. It's a really fun place to be, but at some point or another, like if you love music enough, you're gonna like try to make some.
Put your hand in it.
Yeah. So
what was the invitation during those times when you say those albums?
Well, my heart, the Pharrell In My Mind CD, and that Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor.
All fire.
Got stolen out of my book bag in 9th grade when I went to Towers High School. Fuck whoever did that shit to this day.
I remember that shit. Damn. That was the only thing of value in his book bag. And they literally took it. It was a third CD that was in there that they left.
Word? It was that?
They left the Pharrell joint. I got to keep Pharrell.
Okay.
And they took the Food and Liquor CD.
I feel like it was a third CD in the rotate. It was a third CD somewhere in there where they kind of left or something. But
I might be drawing a blank. But those are Nas, is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Moving from New York, you kind of like try to play the my borough thing a little bit harder. Like some people try to go into that direction, but me, I know like leaving there, I was anything New York. I was just trying to wrap my brain around it and stay tapped in. Definitely. So I was listening to Jay-Z, Dipset. Yep. Not when all of them niggas was beefing. Like I was listening to all of that shit at the same time, and 50. I still had like my favorite like my little favorites that started to like DJ Yola and shit like that, or DG. What is it, DG Yola?
DG Yola.
Yeah, like that ain't gonna let up song. Like
I don't know.
Like when I first got down to Georgia, like that was like one of them ones. Like I was like, nah, this song hard.
That might be the most. That might be the greatest song. When like, I'm really not dragging
to recite.
This might be one of the most well-written raps ever, bro.
I'm not as familiar.
You can hear it 5 times, and that 6th time you listen to it, you're gonna know damn near every other line.
What's the name of it?
And being
ain't gonna let up.
Yeah. And being in an environment where everybody's saying the words. These are the kind of moments that I'm saying, like, kind of like it gave me the hybrid theory or the switch that I needed so that I could be more than the block radius, you know, and developing that palette while I was there helped me be able to come back to New York and be able to hit the ground running with just like tapping in with people and not being scared to get on the train to be on that bitch for an hour and a half, 2 hours, or not be scared of fucking, taking advantage of. Bro, there's still so many resources that I know are at our fingertips in New York City that you can access to, because a lot of people, we feel like we're the first people to take on some of the endeavors that we have. But a lot of people have been doing work the whole time, and there's a lot of things that we're able to be able to access based off of proximity. So I'm always an advocate and a poster child for that being a backbone to why my creativity is innate. Because I come out here every day, or I stay in the crib even, and I'm always being motivated by what I see going on around me, or how there's just a relentlessness that comes with the thickening agent of your skin getting getting more rough and being able to endure what comes with being here. So that is, I think New York City is probably one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to how it is that I approach my creative direction or having my hand involved in a lot of different creative endeavors, as well as the people around me. My girl, she helps me just, do everything when it comes to, we both met at art school down in Savannah College of Art and Design. Fire. Yeah. So I only stayed for a year. She ended up finishing. We weren't dating at that point in time, but we were just friends. Yeah. And like now that we're in a relationship, a lot of that stuff is able to put itself into perspective when it comes to like what kind of work I'm bringing home or what I'm getting done while I'm able to be in the crib in my leisure and those kinds of things. So like creative direction for me is just like it's like a state of mind for real. Like I feel like a lot of people who feel like they're creative directors in their own way, they are for whatever community that they're involved in. And some people radiate or are more highly noted than others, but if you have what it is that I'm talking about, like what it is, like
you either got it or you don't with the creative direction shit. I know before you even started calling yourself a creative director, I remember this is like 2011.
Now tell the story before about the toys. Remember when we were tripping and you told the story? That's how you really knew.
You talking the Rescue Heroes?
Yeah, the way he was able to orchestrate toys.
Yo, my son. Alright, so
what about the Rescue Heroes? What about my niggas with the big boots?
Now that we done got past all you feel me? It's really my cousin, so I'm really gonna break this thing. But just, when like as a kid, like you could always tell when you're around somebody who's just a little different. So it's a few instances. I know that story, like you said, that one. But that's not like a general story. That was just something like when we was younger, like nigga used to have this nigga moms used to buy this nigga all the Rescue Heroes. So if you gotta go put up a picture of Rescue Hero right there. nigga Rescue Hills. These niggas had these big heavy ass
Imagination Station.
Right? So I don't got no brothers. So this nigga, he got a little, but nigga, he had a little brother.
That came along.
So when we was younger, like after a certain point, we got
shout
close.
out to SNS Band.
Oh yeah, shout out to SNS Band, man. Holding it down.
Backward band.
Shout out to SNS. You already.
But before, you feel me? Before he was of age, so me and him, we got like that. He became like a little brother to me early on, but it was never like I never tried to little bro him. I treated him like an equal,
like a peer,
like a peer. But I'm just older than you, so the things that's happening around is always like certain shit will happen. He would have to like look to me to kind of like figure out the situation. I'm just a little older, so I got it. I'm gonna handle it. I got it. Don't worry about it.
And those are the best OGs, the ones that give you that respect.
Allow you to do you, and it's never like because there was a lot of things like growing up, like I was seeing from this thing, and I could have been if I was like just. I could have been like, man, I don't do, man, or just stayed away from it because it was just different. But I looked at it.
Yeah, I know how being a cousin is.
Yeah, you know how it is, bro. You
can't hang with all of them.
You got some cousins, just be like, this. Fuck around, see him on reality TV. Like, man, I knew I should have been chilling with this nigga. And hit him up, cuz, what's up? So it's like early on I had seen that, but he didn't. The thing that used to like blow mine about this nigga, he didn't really do nothing. Until he went to art school, he didn't like do anything. Like, so I used to like bring him to where I was chilling at. We had the music shit. Nigga wouldn't even say nothing. People would just like look at him how he was dressed and how he would carry himself. Like, what you do?
Tell him we used to skate too.
We
used to skate. I ain't do. I wasn't doing shit, nigga. I was on shit, niggas.
I'm talking after. So this.
I was on shit. Nobody else was on.
Nobody was on shit. So we used to skate, not skateboard. Niggas used to. Aggressive
inline. real uptown shit.
Uptown shit. Shouts out to Dipskate.
Dipskate.
You know, bitch ass nigga.
What was it? What was the
Be Unique.
Be Unique. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Be Unique. Them niggas was hard.
Niggas on that shit. We never got good enough to. We never got good enough to like actually be like of substance. But the swag was down pat. Yeah,
and being able to fix that right there. Shit, like I like 100, bro. Like we black, so doing anything more extreme than being black, you get all the praise and kudos from shit like that when it comes to me. Like just even making the attempt, being into what we was into and making the attempt was enough for me. So. That's like one of my favorite parts of my teenage years.
Yeah.
When me and him was like we was like doing aggressive inline in downtown Decatur, and I had some homies that used to skateboard. They was from New York, and some homies from Virginia and shit. They used to skateboard that went to Southwest DeKalb. That's the high school I graduated from. So. Yeah, I used to be out there with the skates on niggas like on some next shit.
Some black brink shit.
My boy tipping the scale over here.
Hold on, man. I'm over here fighting this mic stand. Shouts out to all the mic stands out there, bro. Giving niggas problems.
What happened? Maybe sometime. It's so good.
You gotta put your foot on the bass and that shit like a soul singer.
Lend a helping hand, brother.
This nigga sabotage me. Don't stop the footage, neither. Keep it rolling.
Oh, no, of course.
This nigga sabotage me. He trying to make Just the Drummer podcast.
Never.
He trying to take me out the game, y'all.
This would not be
damn,
a podcast.
So what so used to bring this nigga around. So we did skate. We did the skate and shit. Niggas never got too far.
Nah, we wasn't nice. We was dead not nice.
It was more for distance. It was more for travel. What was
it? But the other thing that come with being black and being extreme is hospital bills.
Exactly. And the hospital bill and like our parents not fucking with it. Nigga. My mother was
break
not
one bone,
with it.
nigga. Them shit's getting confiscated. So we was being very careful.
My mother, it wasn't like my mother wasn't fucking with it. Like she was anti it. She was just like, nigga, I really don't care what you're doing at this point. His mom was just on some. She wasn't fucking with it, just on some. You would have thought he was out here moving cocaine. But she just didn't like look into it. She just seen us making moves, too many moves. Like, y'all need to sit the fuck down. Cause we used to like our Saturdays.
Skater boys.
We up early going. We get it's a whole day. If I got
on some brink shit,
and I had a little job, so I'm getting pizza floors and all that. We really outside.
That was Taco Bell brew.
Big Taco Bell brew. Pockets on swole. Don't play with them. But nigga, we'll be out, and then nigga. But the thing, we didn't have nobody who invested in nobody older than me who invested any type of interest into what we was doing.
Yeah.
But not for nothing, we was so much into our own world and knew like the shit that we was doing was cool. We was like, fuck everything. So the first shit we had, which was like our shit, was concrete culture. And that was like our skate shit.
Rocket power type shit.
That was our MySpace identity.
Yeah,
bro.
And then Karma Luke adopted that as their as like their like tagline. And we was like, oh shit, that's bro.
That's crazy.
100. But Karma Luke did come back in the story.
Facts in the
down
universe.
the line.
And
they did right by us. Shout out to Show Me Pat Wari.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? He gave us a really great opportunity when we was
show me
youngsters
some love.
out here running around.
Was that Blue Dope days?
Yes, Blue Dope days.
So
Blue Dope.
Slow roll.
Blue Dope is where the creative direction
I was
origin
going to ask that. Yep.
even like
Nah, don't. See,
became a thing.
You're going too fast. You skipped July.
See?
Oh.
Alright, so boom.
That was my first creative direction gig.
This is his first like gig.
I
To where the
remember
point.
like, everything is crossing right now. This is crazy.
So where niggas like really was like, yo, you gonna be the creative director. Like I didn't even know what it was, but I was like, nigga, whatever you doing right now is helping us. But you ain't, cause so I was in a group. Shouts out to my boy TZ Fontaine, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And Look Alive. Shouts out to you. Used to be in a little group or whatever. So we had the music. But when it came down to like putting out the music, it's three different minds. So we used to like clash. We couldn't really get on one accord as far as like how we wanted our shit to look. Even song names and shit. We just used to be like, it used to always end up just being like, all right, I guess. And then because nobody really fucked with it, we'll never put it out. So we got all this fire, but it's kind of like not really doing anything. And then so we recorded this shit called The Nobodies. Well, we was basically rapping over a whole bunch, like jacking for beats. And I used to pick this nigga up from art school. This is the year he went to art school. And we just kick it on the weekends on some big cousin shit. You feel me? I had the crib. I had the bud. We lighting it. So he's kicking it in the session. And we was naming some of the songs. And he was like, I remember exactly. He was like, yo, we naming them shits like, we were kind of like, we wanted you to know.
What word did we say the most in this?
We want you to know what beat we rapping off of. So like, he was like, yo, y'all should do the opposite. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, y'all should like, whatever the name of the actual beat is, y'all should like make a play off of that. So let me think about what was one of the shits. When we rapped on, I think it was like Creep, the TLC shit. I think the name of that song was like Left Step or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a bunch of shit. We like, yo, nah, that makes sense. And then the cover, it was time for cover art time. And he was like, yo, I got an idea. Y'all seen the Gorillaz cover art? And I was familiar with it. I'm like, yeah, the Gorillaz. They didn't know who the Gorillaz was. Shows the cover was like four of them. Their heads in the box, they all turned the same way. He was like, yo, y'all should do it because like them, y'all are like completely different, but y'all like the human food. Like, yo, this shit makes sense.
Yeah, I was heavy on the Gorillaz.
It's heavy on, yeah, so it was like he was, but basically, like I said, he was taking shit that he.
That's one of my dream collabs.
Like his aesthetic and shit, but finding ways to like dress it on us to make it make sense. So it wasn't like because he fucked with the Gorillaz, oh, y'all should do it like the Gorillaz. He seen three of us. And he was thinking, like, how can I put all of their faces on the cover without them standing next to each other? Because us standing next to each other looks goofy as
well.
fuck.
It was a hard sell. Yeah.
It's a very hard sell. But you put our heads in the boxes and like, nigga, let me hear this.
Exactly.
I don't know what these motherfuckers look like, bro. Just from there, I seen like, yo, he can literally look at somebody else shit and think outside himself and like, this would be cool for you. And I'm like, that shit is fucking valuable as fuck.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people who can do that, but they don't know how to do it. They they'll do it for people, and then that person will look like them.
Yep.
And you can see it on him, like, yo, this must be his creative director. Or that's who. Oh, I can tell who he fucking with.
Exactly.
You dress like that, or how your pictures look. Oh, I know who's taking your pictures like that.
Well, in a lot of cases, with like us, essentially, like I see a lot of potential for. So, like how I say this, like I was like real shy and quiet and shit when I was growing up, right? So I was really observant and shit. So it's like there's like a natural state of me just like being on some like anthropology shit and just
Spongy.
like understanding that like within like the black experience that I went through, I know that there's like a certain amount of archetypes within the lifetimes that we live in, and people kind of almost assign themselves based on how people perceive them and into whatever stereotype that they're going to live their life out under. So some of those things like I feel like are like the challenges like within like bearing a darker skin tone, being lighter, being short, being tall, you know, and what you choose to do with your blackness. So one of the greatest things I heard when, you know, like all the George Floyd stuff was going on was somebody was like, you know, being pro-black is also like allowing people to do whatever they please with their blackness, because that's one of the outright freedoms that they're like that we all crying out for.
That's a fact.
That and to be left the fuck alone.
Yep.
But
Yep.
That more than
so we
anything.
could figure out what we want.
Exactly.
But those things are like a part of like where I kind of try to like, you know, like if I'm giving my insight or my honest opinion, a lot of the times when I'm like, you know, consulting with artists or consulting with people that I even work with and collaborate with about how we should go about something creatively, I try to like speak towards like what it is that they actually want to do with themselves versus what people expect them to do.
Facts.
And a lot of the times I think that gives you the valuable information that you're able to, you know, comb through and be able to make the best decision for how somebody is going to, you know, depict themselves in the current moment, but be able to look back and be like, nah, that was cool. I did that. Like, everybody was doing this at that time, and this might have been my rendition of it, or I did something completely different.
Facts.
And I'm proud of that, you know.
Yeah,
Be able
Or-
to stand out in that time period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I guess based on, of course, as you grow, budget grows, opportunity grows, how do you take what you feel creatively and then sometimes match it up with what somebody might have financially, which may not be as big as the creative?
It takes nothing to make something.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It takes nothing to make something, bro. It takes nothing to make something. I could say that
Facts.
shit 100 times, my
Facts.
nigga. Like a lot of people, like my peers, a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that I come in contact with, they think that you gotta like be a fast talker and you gotta wear a pair of shades and you gotta be the nigga in the cut and you gotta have this like certain type of persona to pull off the things that we all find enjoyment within. And I've seen more people do that don't have that going on, or they assume that role once they come into a certain amount of opportunities or you know funds that they're able to like pull off this
Leverage,
rendition of what it is to be a manager or A&R or a this or that. And it don't take nothing to do that shit, bro.
It don't.
You got to make the decision in your mind, and you got to turn your head in a direction where a lot of people that I know that have like become like the biggest somebodies that we could all claim to the name of, like they turned around and they didn't look back.
Yep. That's a fact.
And I know some people that they found that fine line. It all just depends on what you want for yourself. So like I think a lot of like what's going on right now with me as an artist, or just like in general with existing in this time frame, is the challenge of understanding that this shit is an extension of who I am, but it's not completely the core essence of what my purpose is. Because what is that really to a certain extent? Like, I'm supposed to live. So, like, all of this creative shit, like, all of this, like, music shit, like, I dead fuck with it. I love it to death. But, like, the relationship I have with you, or that I see the bond that y'all share, or that I developed with my girl, that this is the medium that we communicate and find like fluidity within. That's the like the
entree.
That's like that's the real part of it.
Damn.
Like that's all of the other stuff is like us being able to like maintain within our resources.
Yeah.
So it don't take nothing to make something.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something that I definitely value about our relationship. Cause like we obviously got other cousins like we're super close with.
Mm.
Like, I got cousins like even on like a emotional level, I'm probably closer than him. But the fact that we like built something together that was like based off of literally niggas having to find something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we had to find, because for me, if I didn't find something to do, I was gonna get caught up in some whole other shit, because that was my only other option, and that shit was right there, and I fit in over there too, because I'm not a square, but I also can recognize the value of the shit going on over here, because this is the nigga who put me on to all like the hype beats,
Yeah.
ill roots, like being able to like connect with the music industry and seeing like, oh, it's not just major artists that's making it, it's niggas who like are underground.
And I established back then that it's only but so much web surfing you could do.
Facts.
You gotta take your ass outside.
You gotta go
You gotta go
outside.
where the outsiders is at.
Yep.
Like,
So we go from looking at these shits to going to my favorite artist, and literally because he had that mindset, nigga, we were on those sites.
Yep. Cut to the Blue Dope days.
Blue Dope
Blue
was the brainchild behind like my vision for artistry in general, and it was that, you know, a lot of what we look at is like the camaraderie like aspect of what comes with being down, being one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Blue Dope was the hand selecting that I had in mind, where it's like, nah, you won. You one of them ones. You one of them ones. And all together, like
Niggas who wasn't getting that, like that
approval.
You know that approval from the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I feel like throughout from like 2010 when I got out of high school to, I want to say, well, shit's still coursing through. The influence that we established in that time period, and like people could go to the YouTube channel, it's still lit. Like all of the archive is there. Like we still have like full control of how we controlling you know, all of the assets that we put forward in that time period. But that was myself, Brew, my man Fred Farrow, my childhood friend Aaron, that I grew up with in Riverton, 135th between 5th and Madison.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Fred Farrow, bro.
Yeah, my childhood best friend.
Hell yeah.
Rap his ass off. By the time I got back to New York in 2011, we had linked back up, and then Thermal from When Smoke Clears was a part, and then the anchoring element was Chris Bermudez,
Coach
who
himself.
is, you know, Coach, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody know Coach, nigga. Like
Facts.
that's
You don't know
CGNY.
Coach,
You know what I'm saying? Common Ground, New York.
Yep.
That's the umbrella I came up under, and I was able to like find my way through a lot of, you know, childhood relationships that relied upon, you know, us interacting with each other, and then the extension of like our, you know, our lives, backgrounds from where we actually came from. So through us all working together, we created like pretty much the framework for what counterculture ended up becoming mainstream culture today, where DIY aesthetics and putting your best foot forward and making sure that your full on identity, everything about it has it reads as such. Like, nah, I feel like I'm around the person I just watched on this screen, or the person that I just marveled at. Like, so we found our way around, you know, commencing and making film projects, short films, music videos, you know, curating our own music.
The Red Door
mixtapes.
That was fire.
Yeah, events.
Yep.
Doing internships and working as the, you know, the culture staff behind a lot of brands that were you know, just popping at the time and shit like that. So the you know, the accolades and all of that kind of shit, it goes on for forever. But where we are currently is you know, Workspace Records. That's in development. That's the fact that me and Brew, we both at stamped and got it in the ground together.
Make sure y'all follow that Workspace.
Workspace Productions.
Fire.
The Del Cid Medium. That's my girl's company, and we all work in tandem now, where we put all of our resources and our history and forward thinking together with all of our business constituents, and then the art director Yacine Brazil. He pretty much is like the secret, weapon to be real.
Yes,
He's been I've been rocking with
That's Red Dog himself.
I've been rocking with the Red Dog for a minute. And
legend.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
I ain't really trying to even have everybody know about what's going on with that. But between all of us, we kind of just like pass the rock to each other, and we still finding our chemistry essentially, because it's like new ventures. We got Gvvaan Unlimited. I do art direction with When Smoke Clears, who I'm in partnership with
shout out to When
this
Smoke
business
Clears.
venture. So all of these things, are just like a part of the grand scheme, and what I've been able to like kind of create tangibility out of, where it was just the homies at a point, or it was just like innate creative abilities like coming to fruition. So that was like Blue Dope is a whole like searchable thing. BLEUDOPE. Yeah.
Look it up. Yes, sir. So being a man that wears many hats, you have music and you have the fashion and art direction. Where do you find that space for like time management and knowing where to put those different?
I don't know which one I like more.
I feel you. I
don't want to have to choose.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to choose. But music is the vehicle. And everything else has to happen. Because once you make a song, you're taking out real estate. You make a fire song, you gotta shoot a video, bro. Come on.
Exactly.
You gotta shoot a video.
That's the first thing
bro.
niggas say when they hear. They be like, yo,
then you gotta let the homies
about
be
to shoot
in
a
it.
video?
Exactly.
Or you gotta let everybody who supported the song when the drop be in it. Like those things is givens. Like so I feel like once you start making or taking your steps in that direction, then that's why I said like it's creative directors left and right, but I don't know if everybody's dignifying themselves. I don't know if everybody's doing their job good. That's your business. But that's like that's that on that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of what's going on, like, and where we are creatively, with like everybody being a content creator and all of that kind of shit, it feels challenging. And I was telling Brew the other day, like, I don't feel like my most beautiful self right now.
I feel you.
It's ugly. It's ugly behind the keys right now. Like,
and I'm over there like, hey man,
we at war.
Got the pop up, man. You doing that nigga like?
Nigga, I look like a wounded soldier, nigga. Like this creative shit, it get rough.
Yeah.
This shit life is rough.
Nah, it's true.
Like,
it's
so
true.
I encourage anybody that's like, doing this shit to like try take some formal classes or something, or develop your vernacular, develop your taste and all of those different things, whatever you could get your hands on, like, or your friend circle, whatever, and be around people that are gonna allow you to kind of just like sprawl and get your shit in. Like I was telling Brew the other day, like I was like, if this was any other medium, if I was a painter, I said this room would be full of paintings, and I would be showing you what I was working on, and I'm figuring out what needs to go out in what order. It's a very strategic and very important decisions are having to be made right now.
Yeah.
But those things are exactly what makes that happy medium occur. So yeah, like the music is the vehicle, but the creative direction is just like, if you want to retain as much as possible when it comes to making yourself be able to have leverage when it comes to business. And what your learning curve may be, or what your head start may be, because if you're a business major, you gotta get your creativity on. If you a creativity nigga, you gotta
make sure that
get your business on, like,
exactly.
And if you lie somewhere with like in between where I do have like a pretty well-rounded understanding of how these things go and why people get these opportunities versus these people and all of that business. Then then you start to learn how to do the dance.
Chuck and jive, exactly.
It's not shucking and jiving.
We're not. I mean, hey, I feel you. It's the dance.
It's a slight two-step.
It's a slight two-step. Some do shuck and jive.
I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes you get a better spot on the dance floor if you add a little shuck to your jive.
Yeah, that's true. But
it's a slight two-step.
It's a slight two-step over here.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to work it, like you'll be able to enter and exit rooms accordingly, and you won't have to get too hung up in doing anything otherwise than what the fuck you came to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You was about to say something?
Where the light at?
Word.
It's in the vicinity. If you wasn't, I had something.
Where we at with time? How we looking on time?
It's 50 minutes on board.
All right, let me get this. All right, so let's take this last.
It's a good segue. Basically, you know, we also was at that when Smoke Clear's runway show, which was amazing. When they came to shout out to them and that whole production and everything that y'all played in that role. When they came to, because it was amazing to me to see that you was actually a part of the music and the actual, you know, pieces. Was it when you were doing things musically? Was it the pieces in mind, or was it how did that kind of, was it like you were doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Because the way that they blended together was beautiful.
So I've been recording a lot at 448 Jefferson Studio in Bushwick with the homies, Donnie Durag. So I did the Don Gvvaan tape with.
I saw
recently.
2 is on the way too, right?
Yeah, Don Gvvaan 2 is on the way.
Fire.
Let's get it.
The homie Birthday on the production side, Young Lord Sean, Alice Bronze. My boy, all of the numerous characters from over there, High Grades, all of the people that
shout out to all of them.
And but I was in the studio at the Cash Only Deli studio, which is ran by Dev, my homie, Bronze Kneecap.
Okay.
Shout out to my boy.
Hell yeah.
But we were in the studio and the homie Judah, Judah Hex, he was in the studio and he was playing some beats, and he was like, "Yeah, it's the type of shit I'm on." And it was like some fashion ass shit.
Yeah.
And Thermal had just gave me word like, yo, that he had another opportunity for me to do the music on yet another, you know what I'm saying, showcase for their presentations. So I had worked on a collection with him, pretty much like got it to the point where we were able to get it into production, and then, you know, the music had to be figured out as well. Yeah. So I took that opportunity to tap Judah because it was just like seamless. Yeah. I got the word, I heard what I needed to hear, and then he was like, I'm making these for somebody, but I can make something like this for you. So when I went home the night after I seen him, he sent me the beat and he was like, "Yo, matter of fact, you could just have this." Played it for Thermal. He was like, my son really executive produced that shit. He was like, "Yo, this shit need like the Clash." Like he said, it need to sound like nostalgic or you know, golden era New York hip hop, but it needs to have like that fashion pace to it. So we made the 6 Degrees track in, you know, honor of my fucking devoted fanship to Mobb Deep, you know what I'm saying, and my man Prodigy, bro. Like, when I learned how to rap, I didn't start rapping until I was 22 because I got into music by way of just like knowing how to sing and shit. But just listening to his music when I was his age, when he was making it, it kind of fully gave me like the confidence that I needed for me to like just take music on with a certain like ruggedness to myself, you know what I'm saying? No matter how it was that I was like actually like vocally displaying that, there's like still like the authenticity there. Cause sometimes my son wouldn't even rhyme, and it was like, nigga, that's just what the fuck the rhyme is, nigga.
You gotta feel
it. You gotta feel it, like.
And you better say it along too.
So
say it with him. Fuck wrong with you.
You know, with him, like, you know, like I feel like everybody chooses like certain people that they identify with when they make music and shit like that.
Definitely.
And one of the things that is like, if you go listen to my music, you be like, man, this just sounds like some R&B shit or something like that. And it's like, you gotta listen to what I'm like actually saying and understand like how it is that I'm embedding these references or these inspirations in my music without having to be so literal. So in that way, it makes it so that you still feel like you're getting the original experience when you turn my shit on. So, you know, when we was making the track, we sampled Survival of the Fittest, and that's just like what it is right now for real. Like,
nah, it really is. It really is.
I don't have to even get into it. Like it's really like, you know, we got a glimmer of hope of what the future holds and all of that kind of shit, but we got to actually do the work to get there. So
make it there for sure.
Yeah, so you know, just like even as far as like being a New York City resident right now and all of that kind of shit, like this shit is like, it's a painstaking motherfucking process.
Word out here, cuz somebody let me get some rent assistance.
Yeah, Eric, hey, yo, Eric Adams, what's up, man?
Is, you know, but I count my I don't even count my blessings anymore because they keep on coming. So you know, being able to have a consistent, like that's like one of the like that's one of the things I'm most grateful for. Like I could tear up over that shit. Like the fact that I have developed like a sense of resilience and the things that I go through here, or like me and my girl go through, or me and my family go through, and we still like find a way to be like in a way that we're able to keep going and expressing and keep like managing these like kind of like life altering like events or just like perspectives like that get shifted like Bruce just had a child like that shit is like,
yeah, baby daddy Brew in the building.
that shit is it's still,
I love you, Leo.
It's still like setting in like for me like it's still I'm still processing so I just like
me too, man.
I don't know, like that's what I was saying earlier, like being able to be creative and know like I could do that, but this other life stuff,
yeah.
That's the work. That's where the real. That's where the real. I guess like the.
That's what niggas don't.
That's the parallel.
That's what they don't interview you about. Ain't no interviews for the real life shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like you just manage that shit. But as somebody who's a fan who knows you personally, you really killing that shit on the creative side, just as far as like showing people. Like you said, if I didn't know, nigga, I would think you like fully getting budgets here and there, making shit crazy, and somebody like fully like putting crazy amounts of money, and I know like you really making, I don't want to say, but like gold out of garbage, nigga. Like you taking everything around you and just really making that shit like to where people are like, oh shit, like. And then at the same time, you letting the creators around you know, like, yo, you can do this shit too. Let me show you how to do this shit. Nigga, you can bring me on board to your project, and I'll show you how to do it to where you can do it again without me.
Yep.
But that's where the business self had to get tapped in, like during the pandemic, or just like even prior to it. Like, bro, I was well on my way, just like everybody else. I had me a plan, and And I
like everybody had the life altering. Oh, this is my year.
And
plan.
I'm still fleshing it out.
Yeah.
I'm still fleshing that plan out. So, you know, just seeing it through and understanding that, like I said, no matter what is going to occur, that brought, you know, the any glory that came with the 1-800 When Smoke Clears presentation with May and PayPal. Like that opportunity gave me and the people that I currently work with, you know, the stage and a beautiful backdrop, New York City, and you know, some amazing you know, garments that were created by like the real people that are a part of our, you know, age group and peer circle that are like really making fashion at an advanced level. And you know, the 6 Degrees song was a true testimony and of like the vigor in the work ethic and the strategy that you gotta have as soon as you decide I'm going outside.
Yep. Yep.
Cause as soon as you go outside, gotta make it home.
Yep.
Facts.
Like you gotta make it back home. So in this city, like
Don't end up in bookings.
you know, a lot of things can happen, like or a lot of things could be in the cards for you and you don't even know. So I just like try to stay like really like I cling to that, you know, the understanding that like nah, like what I'm able to come back to or what my findings are when I come back, it's like that's you know highly important for me to like move with that in mind. So the song was definitely like the sonic framework for like what a day in the life for you know a New Yorker is, or somebody that's just like really like grinding, like
out here trying
whether
to
you're
get
from New York or not, like like you know what I'm saying, just like really like grinding out, like and get into it, like so. Yeah, I highly appreciate like Judah for you know blessing me with that collaboration and you know giving us exactly what we asked for in that scenario. That was one of the, like you know the probably one of the more standout moments of the summer, like.
Definitely, and to I guess paraphrase you, I remember after the show you was like, you know, I gave my heart to the city. You know, you kept repeating it, like I gave my heart to the city, and it's like, for me, I remember that so vividly because in everything that I could see that you do in your art, that's the first thing you really put your heart into it, bro. And you know, seeing and everything that you do, and we appreciate you.
Yeah,
breaking this shit down for us.
Yeah,
for real.
sure. Like like the nigga, like I move kind.
Yeah.
As much as I'm giving certain types of adjectives, like nigga, I move with my spirit in a way where I don't mean no harm. You know what I'm saying? But don't try to do me wrong in that realm, because the protection that's gonna come with my defenses is gonna have immaculate coordination. So like that's on any skate. That's on any skate. So I like to.
No, I'm a ride.
I just like to, you know,
follow through.
Keep my vibration these days like at peace and make sure that I'm like doing things that feel like it's like that feels like what I'm supposed to be doing at that very moment. So, you know, like that's what this is. That's what these moments that we're talking about. The pop up was like you know, and what we'll be doing in the future. Like so, like Iguana Limited is. These jackets are for sale. We got other products coming.
Man, give them the rundown.
You
Tell
know
them where they can find
give them the rundown.
All your stuff out,
got
everything.
some stickers on me. You know
Oh yeah,
what
we
I'm
need
saying?
that. We need
get
those.
one of these with all of your purchases and shit.
Give them the website.
Like,
give them the website.
IguanaLimited.com.
Where they can follow you at.
Yeah, GVVAAN on everything. Iguana Limited on Instagram. Workspace Records. Rec-Space Productions.
Yes.
Just all of that.
The name of the last project again? They just dropped.
Sci-Fi Fantasy. So those was 5 songs that I've been sitting on, like trying to work my way into like being able to get back into like releasing on a regular schedule and all that kind of shit. Cause for me during like the periods where I was in the crib and me and my girl was just like going back and forth over just like how to reapproach going back outside, being able to do events and all of that kind of shit. Just keeping in mind what it is that we ideally want, what we like to feel like when we go out, or how we like it to be a seamless transaction where it's like, well, if I give you some money for this, or if I have this going on or anything like that, just make sure it's some quality. Like, so that's essentially what we doing. Like I said, it's just like my take on you know, streetwear and heritage and culture intersecting and just kind of distinguishing exoticism and being exotic. You know, a lot of people from where we from, United States, whatever, like, we don't think much of like where we come from, or we claim it to death, like, and I'm good. But there's like a whole different glimpse that people have at us, like, when it comes to when they get to interact with us when we travel abroad or when they come over here and shit like that. So we are definitely, you know what I'm saying, unique and a beautiful people and all of that kind of shit. Like, and just in general, like by way of like what we've been able to, you know, establish and have going for ourselves. So I just feel like having that as, you know, the mission themes behind what it is that I'm constructing as a brand. You know, the iguana is something that is indigenous or native to wherever you find a goddamn iguana at. Fucking tropical climates, wherever else they exist. And you know, some people look at them as an invasive species, but they just trying to live just like us. You know what I'm saying? But those things are like a part of, like, you know, when I look at my Jamaican heritage, or I look at my Black American heritage, and my grandmother living in Florida, and that this being like a prevalent creature there, my father being from Jamaica, and these things being prevalent where he comes from, is just like a synonymity there. So they don't have, this is called a dewlap denim jacket because this part of them, hold on,
dropping knowledge.
This part of the iguana, like this throat part that like sags down, it's how they communicate. So they just like nod their head like that, but because they don't have vocal cords. But I feel like that's when you walking down. I did it the other day. I was walking to get on a fucking the MTA, and saw some older black dude with a cowboy hat on. He just like just nodded his head, and I was like, word, like,
yeah,
you know, like I feel like I don't know what else to say about it, but that's what this brand is. It's like I'm communicating without having to say too much else.
Facts.
And it's a salute, and it's like a way to be able to say, nah, you identify with what I identify with, and I'm willing to wear that as like a soldier, you know.
Yep.
So, you know, that's what the brand is really like expressing, and what I'm bringing, you know, design wise to the forefront. So yeah, like our first tee sold out at the pop up.
Yep.
Oh.
You gotta look at Brew's Instagram to see what it looked like.
I got one.
We're gonna have another run of what I said is Iguana Limited when it's
all
limited.
All that shit dropping, y'all nigga.
You know I'm rocking it.
Yeah, you better get it.
I'm definitely. I got one of those. I'm gonna get some of those.
It's a good jacket. I got one. Go get you one.
Definitely.
We appreciate you coming through, blessing our podcast. You feel me?
Numerous gems.
We usually don't even do back to back guests. You feel me?
Yeah.
But we had to.
We had to for sure.
Fresh off the fresh is like coming. It's like
he just dropped 30. Yeah,
it's like Curry after the championship. It's like we could catch him right out the locker room with the jacket on. Like why not? Fuck it. So we appreciate y'all fucking with us. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, please subscribe. Fuck with your boy Lane, man. Fuck love y'all, man. Run that shit up, man.
Oh my God.
You know who it is? It's the rapper and
the drummer.
Gvvaan.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Too small. Forever gonna ball.